Oh, hey, we are live. Hey, good. All right, so let's play the music and then we'll start.
One, two, three, four.
Hey, welcome back to Judging Bouncing Balls. It is a beautiful, cold Tuesday or Wednesday night. Sorry, in Wisconsin. Toby, how the heck are you?
Man, we're good, real good. I think, it's been a brutal stretch of weather. I got to be honest. I was pretty proud of myself. Actually, I told my wife before this last snowstorm, I was keeping up with the driveway. Like it was driveway. Like there was driveway. I'm like, this year, I am gonna snow blow, but I shoveled twice. I'm like, I want to see driveway. So one
Wow.
night, like I got off work, I even walked the driveway so I didn't leave tire tracks. Like I was into this. And then this last snowstorm, just I snowblowed twice, and then that last inch got me, and then it got cold. Then the plow came through, and it's a complete disaster. I mean, like I've got 18 hours into this driveway, and it looks terrible. So mad.
Hey, you did better than me because I honestly didn't even try this year. I told you I only plowed twice, I think. We just been driving on it. It's all packed on. There's like a 2 inches just grime on there. I'm like, whatever. It'll melt. I'm so over this. I didn't have time for it. I'm like, I'm just driving on it.
I know it's so defeating because my neighbors are retired, and they don't have a drop of snow, and I'm like, what the? How do you do that? Like, are they blowtorching it or something? Like, because somebody comes
Probably.
home at my house every hour. There's somebody coming or going. And then this past weekend, we had Allie home. I don't get it. I don't know how they do it.
Well, they got time, and I remember our last neighbors. That was the way it was too. They would sit there, and it would be fall, right? And they'd have to pick up the leaves, and they would be out there every day. Like 3 leaves would fall off the tree. He'd jump on his mower. It's like they had nothing else to do except for pick up leaves. Meanwhile, I'd have like a pile in my yard, and the wind would blow, and it just cover up his yard, and I'd just like done.
Right? I
They
don't have
love
a
me.
tree in my yard, and I got my neighbor to my north, really nice people, but all half of his tree falls, and I just go, and I blow it all, and then I just keep going one way
I love
it
it.
blows. I mean, I ain't
I
picking
think
up
that's the
leaves.
I think that's the best method. Just let nature take its course.
You put it there, Mrs. Nature, you can have it.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but I'm very disappointed in our snow totals right now. I mean, spring sports is right around the corner, and what does it do? Good Lord gives us snow. So I know
Snow and
next week we're
cold.
in the four. Yeah, the cold was
Yeah.
brutal this week. -30. Um,
Yeah. Rough.
Macy's High
Did you guys
School
get
got
school canceled?
no.
No, not us either.
I know Green Bay schools it's got to be 35 below, and it was like 31.
Jeez.
Whoever,
That's
whoever
crazy.
made that number is a little out of whack, but
You know what's funny? I think that's our number two is 35 below is the kind of the I don't know if that's just because of the diesel starts to really gel in. I don't know what it is, but I remember our superintendent recently said 35 below is like the number.
it's got to be somewhat the bus is starting, right? I mean,
Yeah,
if parents don't send like at Jackie's school, parents just might not send their kids anyways. It could be 60, and they'd be like, I don't want to go outside. So
that is
it
true.
happens at every school. So it's just I don't know. The 35 is cold. Um, we have a garage,
Yeah.
thank God. So, but I warm up everybody's car in the morning. I start them, warm them
Wow.
up for the
What a
ladies.
guy. What a
Yeah,
guy. That's very nice of
I
you.
try.
I don't. I make my kids go out and do their own.
I leave
Yeah. So,
first. I
anyways,
leave for the
that's
office.
the
But
life
yeah,
of living in Wisconsin. I send every time it gets cold like that, I send some messages out to my friends that live in Florida and choice words and all that good stuff, and let them know how I'm feeling about them. And then, yeah, they appreciate the fact that they live where they live.
Yeah, what a crazy weather pattern, though. I mean, they've gotten snow this year. I don't know. There's no safe space, right? Florida had hurricane, then snow.
Mm-hmm.
We just get snow and bitter cold, no hurricanes, which is nice. Not a lot of
Yes.
tornadoes.
Yeah, agreed. I think I don't know. There's days I just told you I think I'd rather take the warm and maybe have an occasional hurricane, but there are benefits to living here, I guess.
I can't stand hot, like hot, hot, hot. Like nope.
Mm.
This physique, I call it, this athletic physique, likes 68 and a little bit of clear sky, but maybe it's clouds. I don't care, but 68.
Well, you're gonna love the weather down in Texas where you're headed then, because it's supposed to
Yeah,
be
well,
in the 40s.
let's figure out. Let's talk about. We talked about Phoenix and the success, and we have 3 teams from our club, which is phenomenal. Moving on to the semifinals of your USYS national tournament. The 2010s, coached by Dusty. The 2009s, coached by Dusty and Eric Shunt, and then the 2008s, coached by Dusty. So I know all 3 of them are on their way. Our DOCs drove, which they have the soccer
Wow.
balls and things, so that's pretty cool. But there's 3 of them going down. They're going to tag team the coaching. I think that's great. They're going to have, we've had 2 coaches on the sidelines, big help. But we get to go to Round Rock, Texas.
Mm.
I did not look up why it's called Round Rock. I didn't think I had to. But
Do you need to?
I don't know. Like,
Oh,
I work in De Pere, and you know how they got that name? Guy went to the end of the dock, and he's like, holy crap, it's deep here. Nailed it. The Green Bay. The bay is green. LG. I mean,
right.
pretty obvious. So we get to go to Round Rock, which is 14 miles to the north of Austin, Texas, which I heard is a really cool city.
Okay.
I don't know how much time we'll spend. I guess our hotel's like on the north side of Austin, 20 minutes from the field, which is pretty close for us. Usually we are a good 45 minutes.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So, but as of this morning, it was like 22. There was an extreme cold warning in Austin.
Hey, good for them. And by the way, do you want to know why it's called Round Rock?
I do.
It's because in Bushy Creek there is a round rock, and that's why they call it Round Rock. So there you go.
There it is, man.
I just Googled it, and it says in the middle of Bushy Creek, or Brushy Creek,
Brushy.
it is a low water current, and there is a round rock, and that's why it's called Round Rock.
Well, I guess our ancestors, the settlers, really knew how to knock it out of the park. Thank God there wasn't a dog taking a poop, right? I mean, that would be
we might have to clip that.
I was thinking when I'm in Texas, there's something I've always wanted to do, and this goes back years, and you'll remember the movie, but I want to yell, "The stars at night are big and bright," and see if somebody else in the heart of Texas from Pee Wee Herman.
Okay. I thought you were going to go with Blazing Saddles for a little bit.
I
was like, well, I got to mute you here really quick.
Right.
Okay, well, that's not so bad.
But yeah, so Pee Wee Herman at the Alamo. I don't think we'll be going to the Alamo. But I've always
I don't think
wondered if
so.
that's true. Because I was going into the Wisconsin-Ohio State Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis, and I yelled OH, and half the crowd yelled IO. So I know that's for real.
There you go.
Yeah. But I'm disappointed in USYS for picking Round Rock. I mean, there's no easy way to get there. It is not Phoenix like we went. It's not Orlando like we might be going to. There is, flights are hard to find. They're expensive. It's like, can we pick a city that just makes sense?
Well, I think we established in the last episode that we're not really fond of the decision making of USYS, that they or morons, I think is the word that we used.
That's
So
pretty solid.
I guess it doesn't
Pretty solid.
surprise me that they decided to pick a town that doesn't have a major airport and it's an hour away from where, like a quasi major airport, you know, which for those of you flying, not to make it any more nerve wracking, but I did listen to a podcast today on the guy on that plane that crashed in Toronto. And they're talking to a pilot and they're like, oh yeah, just so you know, those small little jets that do the intermediate connections, the pilots aren't as good. And I'm like,
They're
oh,
the beginners.
good to know. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you want the big jets with the big pilots. Those are the guys that are really good. Those little 80 people jets. He's like, those are the starters. Yeah, those are the ones that aren't as good. Like, awesome.
So I wonder what we're taking. So we fly to Dallas, Milwaukee to Dallas, and Dallas to Austin. I don't think that's a 747 Airbus going from Dallas to Austin.
No, you're gonna get one of them little ones.
But they did say it was wind shear up in Canada. It was blowing 45,
Yeah.
and they decided to try to land, which was stupid. That was amazing,
Correct,
though,
and-
right? Did you see the video?
Oh. Unreal. The fact that everyone lived is wild.
Some guy had a good point. He said the snow helped because the snow kicked over the fire, and you could kind
Oh.
of watch it dumb down.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. Might have saved them. But yeah, that's one where you look at it and you're like, that thing should blow up and everybody dies. But everyone, and they got the video of the dude's like walking out of the plane, hanging upside down. I'm like, holy cow.
Let me ask you this, right? We all talk like you're sitting in the exit row. The lady's like, "Will you do your best?" You're like, "Oh yeah, just leave me alone." Yeah. When push comes to shove, if your family's not with you, right? It's just Toby sitting in my chair, and I got a shot at that door. Am I going for it or am I helping? Right? Because I'm supposed to help, right? Like on the Titanic, I'm supposed to put the women and kids first. Or I don't know the answer because I've never been. Is Toby on the lifeboat by himself?
Well, that's a good question. Because my question, I thought you were just supposed to help open the door, and then, but are you actually supposed to stay in there and like shuttle people out?
I don't know, but what if my fear would be this? I get out, the plane blows up, one guy survives, and it's me. And I'm like, oh, man, do I feel terrible?
Huh. Yeah, that would. I mean, I guess I could see where you might have some underlying guilt, but I guess it would depend on what your role is. Yeah, I mean, are you supposed to stay in and like be the bigger man, or are you supposed to be like Michael Scott and just run people over to get out of the building?
Right. Oh, Paul just texted me. Delta is offering $30,000 to each passenger that landed upside down. That's not a lot. Of
Hey, that seems worth it.
Well, that's the other thing. So let's say I get out first, and I'm the only one. There's 80 people on board. Do I get 2.4 million?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's right math either.
It is actually. That's very good math. I think. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's right because 10 would be 300,000, and then there'd be 3 of those, which would be 2.4 million. No, that's not right. You said 30,000 per.
30,000 times 80.
Yeah, it's gotta be 2.4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe is right.
I don't
though.
know.
He said my bouncer experience would kick in. There's a very good chance. But I'll be honest, if I was bouncing again like I was in college and the bar was on fire, I'm not sticking around. Like, I'm just $8 an hour. Like,
Yeah, it's a good point.
but
Yeah,
on to Texas. So, your beautiful wife is going to make an appearance with your daughter.
she is. Yeah, because of some personal stuff that came up. I had to bail. I am not going to be able. Sarah is currently. Let's give the updates at where Sarah is. She is in Oglesby, Illinois, right now, enjoying the scenic plains of Central Illinois, driving with Amelia and Lucy. So,
When did they leave?
4 hours ago, ish. 3.5.
15 to go.
Yeah. Yep.
How far are they going to get tonight? What's the plan?
I don't know, but I told her to go as far as she can, get a hotel, then then if it were me, we'd be sleeping in the van. But I'm not going to make my wife and 2 daughters sleep out in the elements.
Well, that makes sense, right? Because last time we had on the podcast, you were still debating Texas or hockey.
Correct. And actually, we had well, there's a little bit of a story that goes behind this. And we talk about multi-sport athletes and how coaches have to be supportive. I just want to give a big shout out to Rachel Graves. She's our hockey coach. We thought the games were going to be, the first game was going to be the 17th or the 18th, which would have been Monday or Tuesday. Turns out that was not the case. The first game actually is tomorrow. And so when I brought that up to coach, I'm like, hey, we were thinking that was going to be the second game, and that we might not even be in that game. And so we made these plans, and she's like, don't worry about it. She's like, just go. She's like, I know she's a hockey or a soccer girl, and we just get to be a small part of her life. She's like, we want her to go. So she actually gave her the blessing for Amelia to go down. Otherwise, we probably would have waited and made the decision, and we might have missed a game or two, which would have really not been ideal. Probably a game. But because she gave blessing to it, she's like, hey, just go. She's like, this is her sport. We're just, the side sport. So I thought that was really cool. It was first round of the playoffs is it kind of not ideal to miss, but sometimes that's life. So
that's impressive, right? Because everybody else I hear other sport is just, they don't want you missing practice.
Oh no, not at all. And so, and I think they're going to be okay. It probably changes. It helps that I think they're going to be okay without her. Like they should win, but yeah, she was really good about it. I mean, I give her a lot of credit, and I'm going to return the favor when it comes to soccer. I've got 7 of her girls, and then I know some of them are going to need to miss for club hockey, and I'm definitely going to return the favor. We are, I should say, not just me, but that's something that I think is.
Shut that down. Be like, sorry, benched.
Yeah, but no, it's going to be good. I mean, it's I'm looking forward to it. I hope Amelia does well. I wish I could be there, but such is life. So
we're gonna miss you on the microphone.
Yeah.
A lot of games again, a lot of chatter. My wife, I did get yelled at. I want you to know, my wife said I have to be better. Yeah, odd.
Wow.
She said I have to be better, more play-by-play. Said this is real. People want to know the score, the play-by-play, maybe less personal chatter, which I find odd.
Huh. Can you still do movie references?
Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of downtime in soccer, right?
Okay.
A couple timeouts,
Yeah.
TV timeouts. I don't think people want to watch soccer all the time. So
right.
Yeah, I've been doing some research. Yeah.
Hey, well, good. Well, we're looking forward to it. They open up on Friday morning or Friday afternoon, right? Noon is the first game.
12:30, I think.
Yes.
So we play Villarreal, Texas.
Villarreal. All right. They sound good.
I'll be honest. Greg did some scouting and.
Ooh, way to go, Greg.
And did Paul. And it seems that we should move on from Friday. I do think a couple things in our favor. One, it's going to be 30 degrees, which I don't see the Texans really firing up about that.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so I think we have to come down there like it's not cold, Wisconsin, like, hey, this is every day.
Yep.
And just put it to them. You got to play. You got to win. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, it's like a 30 degree or almost a 60 degree increase for us. I mean, if we're feeling like -30 and it's up to, we're feeling good.
Well, it's like shirts off. I mean, not me.
Yeah, somebody. Joe.
Yeah. Did you, did Amelia bring a shirt home?
Yes, that was something. That's actually, I paid a little homage in the title of our podcast today. The title is Yeehaw, Texas Bound, because I saw that shirt and it was something else.
I'll ask. Mike had a whole bunch, so if he still has them at the end, I'll grab you one. Because they were kind of handing them out Monday night's practice. Because he
nice.
Did a lot. So Yeah, they turned out great. And for those wondering, I did not bring it, but it's a loon riding a bucking bronco, and with a cowboy hat on, it says "Yeehaw," and it does say LFG right down the center.
I noticed that. And it says winners win.
Right. Jacqueline's quote, "Winners win," but it was funny because we were talking about how to make the LFG subtle, like kind of hide it.
Yes.
He went right for it, right on the chest.
It was kind of subtle.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like in your face, but it was like, kind of out of the side of the mouth, like LFG.
Hey.
Uh,
So that'll be fun, and then we move on. If we move on to Saturday, we play 8:30 a.m., which will be even colder. We play a team Solus or Michigan Tigers. We are assuming the Tigers win. They're a very
Yeah.
good team.
Very good.
Greg has researched that team too. They're a good team. He says we should probably move on. He texted me that each team has an obvious drum, and I need to find the drum. And I said, well, we came up with the drum, so it's pretty obvious. We're gonna find it.
Obviously.
So
he actually can see video?
he went on, like him and Paul literally researched these teams, went on to their website or went on the VO, tracked them down, and watched their last game.
Oh, Taka, I bet they went to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
smart.
jeez. My wife.
Taka's
out
the
of
place.
blue.
Yeah,
Yeah, you did. You hit my
if you have access to Taka, you can see almost anything. So I bet you they saw all kinds of stuff.
The studio got them. All right. My wife threw it. Here it is. It is Yeehaw.
Ooh,
And then you can see the LFG on the belly of the loon. And then
I love it.
Winners win. Yeah.
that is amazing, and that is quite the loon, I will say.
Yeah. It's funny because we were coming back from Phoenix, and James Reith built that on AI, which I didn't know.
No kidding.
Yeah. And he had a couple of them. We were laughing. So you want to say hi? No. My wife is sick. Oh, wait a sec. Greg, FC Europa or Fort Wayne? Is that round 2, Greg? Fort Wayne, Indiana?
Okay, nice. Well,
Yeah, I don't
let's
know.
take it to whoever it is.
Yeah, either way, we got to play the game. I want to have the ability to win on Sunday, right? I don't want to, it would suck to go down there and lose Friday. Be dead honest.
Yeah.
I'd be very disappointed. Yes, that would be our second round game. Saturday, at that point, you grit it out. You got to give yourself a chance Sunday. There is a chance,
Yeah.
I guess. Now, I've done zero research because I don't really know how. So Greg and Paul built a spreadsheet on this, but we could play Elmbrook,
What?
which would be crazy.
There's a different word I'd use for that, but
Yeah. So you know the old story, you travel 4 hours to play a team from your backyard. Well, this would be traveling 19 hours to play a team from our backyard that we've played like
Ugh.
9 times. We've had great success, and that's what really scares me.
how has Elmbrook done that well? Are they that good? Sorry if you're listening, Elmbrook, but I mean,
Yeah, I'm
surprised
just
they're-
looking here because there's some conspiracy here. Paul just sent me the spreadsheet. We play the loser of round 1D, which would be FC Europa or Michigan Tigers. That's who we play.
and he said we lost to Europa last year on PKs. I'm trying to remember
That's
that.
the first game in Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
We scored 2 goals and tied 1-1.
That's exciting. Well,
Yeah,
good.
So, and then we went into PKs and it went like 10 players, and we had a lot of subs. We had a lot of girls that joined us, and with our team, we'll be all right. Addie went down hurt in the first half, I think.
Oh,
She
that's
struggled
right.
a little
Yep.
bit. So, that stunk because that was the first game of the Tampa, and then we lost, and then we were done.
Yeah.
And then
On
Paul
those
just
beautiful
said,
fields.
Elmbrook is not going to make it to you. Okay. Either way,
Okay.
put them in front of us. We're going to knock them down. We have
That's
this is-
right.
This is the first time that I can remember that everybody will be there.
That's awesome. I mean, we are setting ourselves up for some success here, which is great.
Yes. So we've always had. We got Conspiracy Joe said that they changed the matchup, which Uncle Johnny said solace. I don't know.
What? They changed the matchup. Can they do that?
Yeah, I guess the team dropped out or something. I don't know. It's
Oh,
US
what the hell?
We just.
How do you get to this level and just drop out?
Remember, it happened in Orlando. Like our first game never showed.
I know it happens, but I just don't understand. Like, why are you even part of it if you're not going? Like, that's just weird to me.
We get threatened with fines all the time. Like,
I mean, I would
don't
assume
go
they
to
get
Legion.
fined.
I would hope so, but where's that money go?
Yeah.
I have to put Doge on it.
Put them to a good use. Send them after these teams.
US West, yeah. You know, all the club sports would be crapping in their pants if Doge came knocking. So
That's
if
pretty
we get out
funny.
of Sunday with 3-0. Orlando in July.
Orlando. Man, Orlando. That would be exciting to go there when it's 100 degrees and 100% humidity. I think that's what we should do.
I know. Why aren't we doing it in Indianapolis? Like,
Yeah, no kidding.
about the rest of the country.
Go to Westfield. That's when they could actually, they could go north. They don't have to go south at that point.
Right.
That would be, man, that's crazy. Yeah, that's going to be hotter than church down there if we go in July.
But at least it gives us some time, right? I mean, it gives us some time to figure it out. Gives us some time to get flights or drive, whatever you do. I mean, this quick turnaround from January to February is brutal.
Yeah, no, I know, and that's that makes it even more difficult. And so, it's a good problem to have. If we can get down there in July, I like that problem.
100%. Yeah, that's our goal. I mean, we're going to give it everything we got. I have,
That's right.
So we're in Phoenix, right? And we're chatting, and we told some parents that, hey, if you can't make it, that we'll take your kids, right? There's a couple of our families that were down there, like, hey, we'll help out.
Very nice of you.
And out of everybody, they picked me, like, because Jackie couldn't go, which
Because you're the most responsible.
as the most responsible adult on the team, I get Charlie King and Emily Urban, and Macy and me. So
Okay.
it's putting trust in something that, I mean, I'm very trustworthy. And I've told them maybe just 1 or 2 lobby beers and that's it. Be wherever they want to go to dinner. I've told each kid they had to pick a dinner spot. That one didn't go
Wow.
real well.
Hmm.
Charlie's like not happy. She's like, I don't want to pick. And I'm like, well, you have to pick. That's kind of the rule. And I guess it's a difficult thing for children, young ladies, to pick a place because they watch their parents fight over it every night. So probably why they don't want to do it.
Hey, by the way, speaking of this, because this is a battle with our family, I saw a way to get around this, and you basically go to your wife and you say, "We're going out to dinner. You'll never guess where we're going," and then whatever she says, you just say, "You guessed it," and then you just go there.
That is awesome.
It's flawless. I mean, I don't see what could go wrong other than she picks like a 5-star.
Right, every time. I'm gonna try it. Even though we've been trying not to eat out as much. We did eat out tonight, but we've been
Smart.
trying to not eat out. But then the grocery store's ridiculous, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
All right, well, good. So you're shepherding kids down, and then you're going to let them pick food wherever. That's awesome. I see nothing that could go wrong there.
I didn't think so. And I did give each one of them a game for their playlist.
Ooh,
So Macy has Friday, Charlie has Saturday, and Emily has Sunday. And if they don't want to do it, it defaults back to me.
oof.
So I have
That's going to be a
mine.
banger.
Oh yeah, a lot of '90s rock. There's some old school rap, not polite language. I'll be honest with you, but
A little Notorious B.I.G. maybe.
right, little NWA.
All right.
So if you see the minivan coming and there's some bass going down, it's a loon parent.
Well, they'll look good. At least Round Rock, Texas will enjoy that experience.
Have you ever seen Reno 911?
Little bits.
So when one of them comes out, he buys new cowboy boots and he's got the tight shorts on, and he comes out and he does the heel click. Oh, maybe I'll post it online. It's fantastic. I'm thinking about getting
You should do
cowboy
that.
boots.
You should do a heel click, I think, in cowboy boots and short shorts, short jean shorts.
Right? Should I do it on camera?
Yes, definitely.
Take this thing viral. Right to Puke Town.
Oh, that's awesome. Make Joe get in there with you. You know, like, yeah, make him do it too. Put him in some
the
jorn
click.
shorts. Yeah, and do the
Oh,
click.
he's-
I'm not.
he's tan, so he might take his shirt off too.
Wow, that'd be weird. Daisy Dukes. That's what Greg says. See, Greg gets it.
I think he'll Joe hopefully join us on the chatter, even though the
Good.
parents of Steel City did not like him.
Yeah. When are you ever going to see those people again?
Right? This weekend.
Are they there?
We
That's
have a young
awesome.
lady named Autumn, and Joe made it very clear that he doesn't like autumn. He likes winter.
Okay, well, I take back what I said. You guys enjoy that. Hopefully, there's not too much confrontation.
No, not at all. Oh, excuse me. But let's back it up. Where were we? Last weekend or the weekend before? We were in Minnesota.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weekends ago already. That's crazy.
Is it 2 weekends ago? That's crazy. Our second college showcase that our club has put on in Eden Prairie. Is that where we were? Eden Prairie, Minnesota?
Yeah, something like that.
Now, you could not make it Saturday, but you made it Sunday.
Yeah, which apparently was the day that all the coaches could make it, which I was a little bummed about because it sounds like there was a lot more people at the Saturday game, and then they did not come back to the Sunday game. But
yeah, Saturday game did have quite a few, but the Sunday game was fun. And after the game on Sunday, the University of Minnesota Duluth coach pulled some of our young ladies aside and had a nice talk with them.
mhm.
And has Amelia talked to the coach?
Yeah, he's talked, or she has talked to him a couple times. I think just they had a phone call and then they've texted back and forth a couple times.
Yep.
But it sounds like, which is kind of cool, I think he's making a pitch for like as many Loons players as he can get. Is what
That's
I'm getting. I
crazy.
mean, he even wants them to come over together as like I'm assuming he's told you that as well. Like everybody travel together, come, and like he wants as many as he can get, I think.
I think we would be a big advantage to him.
Probably.
We are not. There's an ID camp that he offered. We're not going to make that. But we're going to.
Yeah, we won't either.
I will let you know when we go, because if you want to tag along, if we want to go up, if Amelia wants to jump in, I love.
Yeah,
those.
that'd be good.
Me and Jackie are going to go. We gotta. I have some work I can do up there, so
Mm.
I'll throw that in. But there's a great hotel on the pier, I call it, and yeah, so that'd be fun. I think you're right though. I think he pulled 5 or 6 aside,
Yeah.
made his pitch, like literally said, "I don't need to see you play anymore." I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Amelia said. And I guess he basically said, like, I can't believe you guys aren't committed yet. You know, he's like, I'm really excited. And he even said something to Amelia. I think he said it to the whole group or Amelia, but he's like, I'm really glad there were no other coaches here, so nobody saw you guys play. And I'm like,
That's
yeah,
why
I
we're here,
suppose.
just to hide from everybody.
But he was excited about the fact that he might be able to snatch a few of them away, which, I know a lot about UMD, and I know some people who went there. Really good school. Their program has not been great, is what my understanding is. So I'm thinking that he's probably looking for a rebuild, which is probably why he wants as many as he can get out of our girls. But yeah, I mean, he's been very friendly, really nice guy,
Yeah, Macy,
from what I
I
can
talked
tell.
to him for 40 minutes, and she did it on her own. I don't know what they talked about. She just said it was an excellent conversation. And what's funny is she never looked at Duluth as an opportunity, right?
Mhm.
It's in the middle of it's way up north. But once somebody shows a little bit of interest in you, it kind of perks your interest.
Yep.
Um,
Which is what we
so
talked about last episode, and why I don't understand why more schools don't just reach out a little bit. They don't even have to do a lot.
Yep. Oh, Greg
But
said he'll take us
anyways.
out to lunch. I don't know, Greg. I don't know. Do I have to buy? Do I have to pay? Because I might.
Hey, any school that will pay for our lunch, that's like you said, I think that's going to be the determining factor for us.
I tell you, Stevens Point paid for me and Jackie's lunch when we did the cafeteria, but we got a free lunch and they were courting Alley to play tennis.
Hey, well, there you go. Greg says he buys. He must. That's right. I forgot Greg was up there last year with Emily. So
yeah, and they had offered Emily, so that would be interesting, right? To see when you go up there what you come out of, because it's Division II, so there's money for Division II, both academic and sports. So if and I'm not saying this would ever happen, but if they could find a way for academically and then throw in some sports money to pay for Macy's education, I might push her down to sign the dotted line. Be like, perfect.
it's funny. I was talking to a friend of the show, actually. Somebody, you remember Joe, that was on the show. His daughter plays over here, and he was talking about some of their recruiting experience. And he brought up something that I hadn't really thought about. And he did preface that, obviously NIL money is not as much as, it's not like a ton of money. And the bigger school you go to, the more NIL you get. But he said when they do those pools, those NIL pools where it gets shared with them amongst all the athletes, he's like, one of the things most people don't think about is you get your scholarship, but then you also get, maybe it's $1,000 a month or whatever for NIL or whatever that number is. It's going to vary school to school. Maybe it'll only be a couple $100 a month, but you get that on top of whatever your scholarship would be. And so if you go to a school that has a decent NIL pool, he's like, that can actually make a pretty big difference when it comes to your overall education costs, because if you take some of those time back in, they're not always pitching you at your signing or at your visit, like, because they don't always know what the number is going to be. But that's kind of like a little bonus that you may not realize you might get. Now, I would guess that somewhere like UMD, sorry, it's probably not going to be really anything, if anything at all. But he talked about if you go to some of these, some of the schools his daughter's getting recruited to, because she's a really good player. She just scored her 1,000th point as a sophomore. So she is really doing well. Yeah, she's got recruited by, I think, 10 different schools right now that are all, a bunch of them are power fives. So she's going to be able to get access to a lot more money than obviously somebody going to UMD. But I just thought it was kind of interesting that there's another factor that you don't often think about. We hear about NIL, but if the school shares it, there's going to be a little bit potentially, and I stress a little bit, for your player to be able to utilize as well. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. That's what do you think? UMD's had Division I hockey. I mean, maybe they've got some big time hockey players donated some coin.
Never know.
I doubt it.
But I would venture that number is pretty small. But it was just a side of the puzzle that I hadn't really considered. I mean, obviously, like he said, the bigger the school you go to, like if you're going to Michigan State, you're going to get, all the athletes are going to get a pretty nice chunk. But if you're going to UWGB, it's going to be a much smaller piece. I mean, if at anything. So, it obviously did with a grain of salt, but it's just something I hadn't really thought about before.
You think about it, if you could pick up a couple $100 a month, that's all you're spending money.
Yeah.
Take
I mean,
some
yeah,
out,
it gives them
burn.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll stay in touch about that. I don't, we have a visit down to Loris coming up. We did Eau Claire, and I think La Crosse is what we're going to try to get to next. So
Nice.
she'll do her 4. And then if anything else comes about, we'll deal with it as it comes. But we'll probably go to Madison, you know, maybe back to Purdue for academic wise.
Academics.
Yeah, well, that's the structure of my well-being. As an academic, I mean, could have played pretty big time ball. I don't know which ball, but one of the balls.
One of them. Yeah, no,
I
I
was the first transfer kid because I didn't like my situation, so I transferred a whole bunch of times until I found a home.
hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, right. So it'll be exciting. I think that'll be the next step. It's a different game, and we'll probably continue to talk about it on here about the process that I was completely wrong at going into on the recruiting phase.
Yeah. Not to change the subject, but I thought this was kind of interesting. I actually got to see a really awesome youth sports game, and so I thought I'd bring it up on the show. But what it was between Spash, and then it was, I'm looking up the girl's name right now, because it was Jada Soybert, and then it was the girl that she played against was Ella Mae Cooper. And I don't know if if you follow basketball at all. Ella Mae Cooper is a sophomore right now out of Regis in Eau Claire, and Jada is actually ranked number 1 as a sophomore right now in the state of Wisconsin, or at least that's the last I heard. She was number 1, so she's top 5, let's just say. And I believe Ella Mae Cooper was like top 5 as well. So these two girls squared off against each other, and I'm telling you, it was one of the cooler games I've seen. I wish it would have gotten more press because it was a late ad where you just kind of filled in and they just kind of came to Steven's point. And so this game was between these two really high-powered sophomores, and it was an awesome game. It ended up going into overtime. Spash did end up winning, but the Ella Mae Cooper had 44 points and Jada Soybert had 39, and it was for a high school high school basketball game. It was phenomenal. I mean, it was a really, really awesome game to watch. And that Ella Mae Cooper can play, and so can Soybert. I mean, it was fun to watch. It was a preview of two girls that are probably going on to bigger and better things in college. But it's what you want high school to be about. It was, I mean, I think if that game would have been on the schedule for a lot longer, you probably would have seen, a lot more fans there. It was kind of a bummer that it was a late ad and people really didn't even know it was happening. But pretty cool game. It is out on. We had a friend of the show on from Zaleski Sports, so if you want to watch the game, it's out there on Zaleski Sports. But it's pretty cool on YouTube. It's pretty good game.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really good sports, really good kids in our area. We went and watch that kid out of Ashwaubenon play Bayport boys.
I've heard about him.
He's going to Alabama, and there's a head and shoulders better. Like,
Really,
you see kids and they're like, oh, they're good. Then you see what really good is, and you're like, yeah, I get it. He had 39, and it felt like he had 6. I mean, just
wow,
did everything well. Just like those two, right? They scored 80 points out of how many? 120?
Right. Yeah.
And you almost just wanted to see him go at it. Like, you're like, I know there needs to be other kids that touch the ball, but like, maybe we just go one-on-one.
No, it was honestly really fun. And this Ella Mae Cooper was breaking girls down with the crossover. Her crossover was phenomenal. And it was just fun to watch. I mean, they'd go back and forth, and Ella Mae would pull up, rain a 3, drain it. Soybert would come back and she'd hit a drive or hit a 3. She answered with a couple 3s. I mean, it was really fun to watch. It was a very competitive matchup, and those two girls were the stars. I mean, I think the ending score was like 86 to, it might have been 86 to 80 or something like that. But I mean, they put on a show for sure. Each of them had about half of their team's points. So it was pretty cool. Fun matchup.
That is cool. Yeah. Hopefully you get to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went
That's
and
for
watched
sure.
the Notre Dame Academy girls basketball team play the team down in the valley.
Oh,
Kim something, and they both played sloppy. The K team ended up winning by 5, but Notre Dame had a shot. They
the
fell down
K
there,
team.
so- K team.
I thought you said something else. Yes.
They actually Notre Dame had a chance to win it, and then Kennedy, actually one of our old players, really good defender, kind of stymied the girls, stole it, and then they fouled, and it was over with. So, yeah.
Okay.
But looking at a calendar, you see, with this late ad of Round Rock, Texas this weekend, we have 2 weeks off until high school starts, just about.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's going to be here before you know it. I mean, what is it, the 21st or something like that is the first day is it the 21st? 24th. It's the first day. So yeah, after this, there's not much time and it's full bore into the new season. So should be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for high school. Some people don't like it. I think it's fantastic.
I do too.
Stated driving across town to play a game. You're home at night, 7 o'clock under the lights. We come to you, which is
Yes.
great. We're going to come early and go out to dinner with Allie at the old UWSP, and then make our way to the stadium.
Yeah, it's going to be at Gerke, so it's going to be at the football stadium.
Turf?
Yep. Turf.
I know why they're doing it. For Amelia.
Why is that? Yeah,
Amelia gets loose on a turf.
I can tell you why we're doing it. It's doesn't cost the school anything to go to Gerke, and it costs us money to go to the other stadium. So that's why we're doing it.
I was laughing because we were in Minnesota. Amelia hit a kick with her left foot, put it in the back of the net, and I'm like, oh, that reminds me of the Stevens Point Bayport game. We're like, no, it was a little farther out. Then 2 minutes later, she was 15 yards farther out, knocked it in the back of the net. You're like, that was it.
Yeah. Good times. It's a shame we couldn't have pulled that one off.
It was fine.
Yeah.
You might have beat Appleton West at least.
I don't know. They were pretty good, especially with Kata leading the way. And they had that, I think, did that girl graduate, Knable? Did she graduate?
That I think so. I thought she was a senior, but I'm not positive.
She was a good player. She was a really nice player. So, yeah.
Yep. So, yeah. But what else we got?
Well, I mean, we should say we talked about the high school season. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to be the best in the Valley. I mean, obviously Kimberly's going to be tough. De Pere's going to be tough again, but they lost their coach, didn't they? De Pere?
They did. They got a new coach. Actually, he's a coach. He's a dad from the 10s, the 2010 girls team. So we'll see how that. Mike Picard, I think, is his name. So she went to Appleton North.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so Appleton North might be pretty good. I mean, it'll be interesting. Appleton East is going to be tough. They got the two Reith sisters leading the way. I mean, it'll be interesting to see who comes out of that valley. There's going to be a really competitive landscape, I think. Think Kimberly still does it?
Kimberly still got some. They lost a lot. Let's be honest. I mean, it is what it is, but they've got some good talent. I mean, we've got
they do
on our team, and they've still got Skylar, who used to be on our team, and Kennedy if she plays high school ball. This whole ECNL thing creeping into high school. I guess there's a lot of really good talent throughout the state that's not playing high school.
Really?
Down in the Milwaukee area. Girls going to do now they have a spring league, which travels all over the country. So
of course it does.
Yeah. And I don't know.
I don't like it, but
yeah, I don't either. But it'll distract a lot of good players. Paul says 41 girls are not playing high school. They're playing ECNL, so that's 41 of the top talents in the state. That's crazy.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Where has that been posted?
Paul does all the research. He talks to some people, secrets.
Okay.
But you see some change their mind and some. But I guess those are the girls that are signed up to play ECNL Spring League.
No
Which is
kidding.
crazy. Sources, he says.
I don't know.
Sources.
I don't know why Greg is whining. I said Kimberly. What does he want me to yell? Does he want me to put up an emblem on the podcast?
Don't worry, Greg. Say her name.
We know Kimberly's good. We get it.
Yeah.
We get it, Greg.
Who won the last state
Not
football
as-
championship? Greg. Greg.
Not as good as his Eagles, or as his mayor would put it, the
Oh.
EGLSES Eagles.
Here's a question. Did you see Greg's videos?
I saw them. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch all of them, but I saw them. Yes.
Well, obviously. I don't know if anybody
His goofy manipulations of his face.
with the hair. So
Yeah.
the question is, do we want the Eagles to keep winning so we get more Greg or less Greg?
I don't know.
Ponder on that.
Where do you come down on that?
Well, I don't want the Eagles to win, not for Greg's sake, for the Packers' sake.
There you go. That's where I'd come down on it too. It's always good to see Greg, but I would rather not see the Eagles win.
Yeah. No, we don't need that. Nope. Well, I'm just
Yeah.
I'll post also our times of our games and who we play. I'll when I go for our broadcast, I'll put it on Judging Bunks and Calls also. I think I know
Nice.
how to do that.
Well, good. I will get this thing posted before it actually out to Spotify before those games happen. But I believe first game is noon on Friday, so tune in to our channel on YouTube. That you'll be able to see the game, or not on YouTube. Tune into Facebook, sorry, and you'll be able to see that'll be public through the Wisconsin United Loons. So, 08s.
Yeah, if people could hit like and share. I was watching some YouTube, and if we can get maybe 3,000 likes, I think we could start to really make some money. I know we only have like 100 followers, so we're gonna need you to tell your friends and everybody.
Right.
I don't know if you could hit the like button 100 times. I don't think you can. I think it only counts one,
I don't think so.
which is very depressing. We're never gonna get to 3,000.
You never know, though. Some days maybe it'll expand. If we do something stupid, it'll work.
I do believe if I say something pretty bad, like crazy, and it goes viral, we'll be heroes.
Maybe if we keep ripping on the USYS, maybe it'll increase viewership.
From the USYS and just tear them apart.
The other thing we need to put out, I need to clip that where we kind of go after, you and I went after coaches and recruiting. I think that could be, somebody might find a kick out of that. But
Jackie read the article. I scanned it. I still haven't gone back, but it talked about ECNL and how lazy college coaches go to ECNL. They don't recruit. They just go sit. They just look at the badge. Not my words, but I thought.
Which article was that?
I'll find it. I'll figure out where it was, and I want to go back and read it anyways. But I thought that was pretty interesting.
It's what I've been saying. I mean, I've talked to a couple other coaches that are kind of in the know, and not just soccer. This is a real problem. It actually is. And I talked to a coach that's been doing it as a Hall of Fame coach, by the way, trying to get him on the show. But the problem is he's always coaching. And his contention on this is, and he's sent players to the professional, to WNBA. He sent players into the major leagues for baseball. And his contention really is that coaches are really lazy right now. When it comes to recruiting, they basically only go after what has reached out to them, and unless you are a top tier like prospect and that coach actually thinks they have a chance to land you, they really don't reach out. They're pretty lazy about it.
There's no recruiting anymore.
I don't think there is. Yeah, so I don't think you and I are wrong.
No. I maybe that's why I didn't get recruited. Maybe I didn't send out any tape. Didn't have a lot of tape. But in my short career, I could have come up with tape.
Maybe that's the problem.
I still have eligibility, Jeremy.
Anyways, I do think that there's some truth to it. And what did I hear? Texas. Yeah. There's again, we were in Arizona. There was mainly Wisconsin schools in Arizona. Guess they're going down to Texas? More Wisconsin schools. I'm telling you, they use this as an excuse to travel. I truly believe that's what a lot of this is.
Oh yeah, it's a vacation.
Right.
You know, they get a
It's like,
budget, they use it.
and then they get to spend it. They get to spend school money to go down and visit somewhere warmer in this winter. That's really I almost did 100% on that. I don't know if you could convince me otherwise.
Oh, yeah, I did look at the list. It's a long list. We'll see who comes. I mean, I saw one person in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, anyways,
you know, at this
it'd be
point,
interesting.
I don't look at this as a recruiting thing.
Agreed. Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Like, would I like it to be? Absolutely. But there was more people at regionals. Remember the Iowa coach was kind of sleeping in her chair. That was depressing.
That was pretty funny.
But this is more to win in my eyes, and so
Yeah, it's all about winning. I agree.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. So hopefully we can go down there and get the dub. Is Greg going to be down there? I know Emily is. Is Greg?
no, I'm taking Emily.
Ooh.
He is not, but he did say that his goal, I think, is to go to Orlando. So I think everybody's in on Orlando. So
Let's do it.
we have to get there.
Agreed.
There's no
I think
need
we
to
should.
Kansas City, right?
Correct. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think that's a fair trade.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will broadcast the games live from Round Rock, from Brushy, Texas.
Creek. Yeah, Brushy Creek in Round Rock,
I gotta remember
Texas.
that. I might write that down because that'll be a big part of my conversation game one.
There you go. All right. Well, looking forward to it. Thanks for broadcasting. Glad you could take a bunch of people down and go Loons. Yeehaw. Let's do it.
Yeehaw Loons. Let's go. Shoot. Texas.
Shoot.
All right.
All right.
sir.
Have a good night.
We'll be in touch.
Sounds good. See you, everybody.
Yep. And we're successful. Hey,
All right.
do you
So I'm
have,
just going to.
Do you have Verizon?
No.
Because we went to the Verizon store today with work, and the guy's like, "Hey, who do you have for internet?" We're like, "Spectrum." He's like, "You can get for $39 a month